The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
We're live in the Wicked Weed studio. Check out our friends at wickedweedbrewing.com. Wicked Weed Brewing, drink different. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene and the Seattle Seahawks. What is our prognostication for 2021 for Russell Wilson and company? We realized that it was a tumultuous offseason. The questions about whether or not Russell Wilson was going to stick around or going to get traded or, he wants more help. Did they get him enough help? It seemed like all of that smoothed over at some point. Apparently Gabe Jackson was the was the one thing that did it for him. He's like, we got Gabe Jackson, that's fine. It'll be all right. Forget all those other things.
Yeah, here's the thing. I felt the same way about Russell Wilson in mid-March that I feel about Aaron Rodgers now. It was never going to happen. Mm-hmm. It was much ado about nothing. Mm-hmm. Russ is fine. Russ likes Seattle. Russ is as team guy as they get. Mm-hmm. Best case scenario for the Seattle Seahawks, come for the food, stay for the mood.
That's right. Russ is going to cook. He's got DK Metcalf. He's got Tyler Lockett still. He is going to sling the ball a lot, and they are still going to run the ball with Chris Carson. You said Rashad Penny a second ago, and that kind of blew my mind because I thought he had fallen into decrepitude.
No, he's lived hurt forever.
Right. So just because the tires are wearing thin on Chris Carson, they're going to get Rashad Penny more involved? Or are you hearing that he's healthier, in the best shape of his life, all that camp talk that we hear?
It's all the latter.
Yeah.
He's going to have a role. He's going to have a role, period. If he makes his team, he's going to have a role. If he doesn't make the team, he's not healthy. But here's what... Russell Wilson's so damn good that he leads a team that's just overall not that fucking talented. Seahawks fans don't want to hear that. Mm-hmm. It's the truth. And if you want me to prove it, tell me what position group they're elite at.
Quarterback.
Outside of the one that I just said.
They're not. I
thought you were going to say wide receiver.
Well.
They have two.
Yeah.
They have two, period. Dwayne Eskridge is real fast. He's also real old for a rookie. Mm-hmm. Dwayne Eskridge I can't remember who it was that he was older than. It's been in the league for like 4 years.
He's 24 years old.
Yeah. He's pretty old, 24, if I remember correctly. I think he'll be 25 not long after the season ends.
Doesn't that make him older than Sam Darnold?
Yes, he is. He was older than a receiver that's been in the league for quite some time. But yes, he is older than Sam Darnold.
He turned 24 in March, so he'll be 25 next offseason.
Yeah, right after the season ends. That's what that's what I thought. What I was saying is I didn't think he turned turned 24 like yesterday.
Right. No, I would say that they have elite players, but as a whole position group, I don't know that you can say that they're elite. I mean, obviously having two of the best wide receivers in the league it puts you right up there. I mean, if we're talking dynamic duos of the NFL, yeah, they're right up at the top of the list with everybody else.
I mean, I love DK Metcalf. I love Tyler Lockett. Mm-hmm. You're not deep at receiver.
And can Russell Wilson make Gerald Everett what we wished he was when he was in L.A.?
I like the Gerald Everett signing. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, still not a good blocker. You have a tight end that's not a good blocker, and you have 3 below average starting offensive linemen. Mm-hmm. What does that tell you? In a division where you have to contend with Nick Bosa, mm-hmm. J.J. Watt, mm-hmm. Chandler Jones, and Aaron Donald. Mm-hmm. Good fucking luck with that. And before you tell me how good those 3 are, just understand one of them played for my team for an extended period of time. Brandon Shell could fuck up a blowjob, mm-hmm. period. He'd talk through it, and she'd stop. He's awful. I loved his dad, and he's a nice enough kid. Mm-hmm. He is a terrible fucking football player.
Well, lineman ratings wise, he had a berth last year. And it was the first year. It's the first year that he had a PFF grade of over 55.
Yeah,
so
he's bad. You know why I know that? Because all those 55s were with us.
Right. And he went to Seattle last year and turned out a 72 or something.
Which is still not great, by the way.
No, it's not great, but it's serviceable. I think the one thing that they need to do is a center.
I think
Ethan Posick is not good.
Michael Whiteside just said Russ will be running for his life. That's my fear. That's my fear in what leads to the worst case scenario for the Seattle Seahawks.
Right.
Kitchen closed, understaffed.
You don't have the staff to be able to protect your quarterback. And that's the thing that killed me about everything's resolved. Russ is back and everything's fine. Well, the only thing
he
you
didn't
did
do
was
shit.
Yeah, all the thing you did was add Gabe Jackson. Okay, congratulations. You need three more really decent linemen for me to feel better about this situation than Russ. Now, I still feel like Russ is going to be running for his life. He's the second most hit quarterback in the NFL since Deshaun Watson came into the league. Deshaun Watson's the number one, by the way. It's just not good. You have to protect your quarterback, but we have seen, like last year, we didn't believe in the offensive line last year, and this is still a team that Russ cooked for most of the season until they settled on the running game late in the season. And they still won 12 games. Could the same thing happen this year? Maybe. But this division is better. And how do they stack up in this division? I'm leaning more toward there's more likelihood that they are the last team in this division than it is that they're the first team in this division, and it's not even really close.
I don't like the defense. There's just a lot of things about this team. There's a lot of things about this team I don't like. I don't think you're going to be able to get after the quarterback particularly well. I don't like the offensive line. I think you're going to struggle to run at times. The one thing you got three fast-ass receivers that I think will take the top off things, which will allow Chris Carson to be good. That will be your saving grace. At the end of the day, you're still the worst team in this division.
Worst case scenario, what's their record?
8-9. I mean, I'm not saying they're the worst team in the fucking league. That's what people make it out to be like. I'm saying you're going to be the dog in 6 games in your division.
Yeah.
Sharp money will be bet against you in 6 games in your division.
I think you're right on the line there. Somewhere between 7 and 9. If things just go horribly, they could end up there. Also, though, I'd still believe that their best case scenario, they could very well end up with 11 wins and be in the playoffs. I think there's a path for every team in this division to make the playoffs, which that's why it's the best division in football. Hands down, bar none. Let Russ cook. You got to protect him.
Here's the thing.
Can't let the kitchen catch on fire.
Here would be any Seahawk fan that wants to argue with me about where they're going to be and how this is going to go. Let's play a fun game. Let's say, just for shits and giggles, that Jimmy Garoppolo was the quarterback of this team. Guy we've talked about that we like. We like him. What's their record with Jimmy Garoppolo as their quarterback? If they go 5-12, I'd be stunned. That's how fucking good Russell Wilson is. Because he takes this team that's not overly talented, and it's not deep at all. And it makes you, plus Pete Carroll's a good coach. I do undersell Pete Carroll quite often. I like Pete Carroll a lot. But at the end of the day, this is the least talented team in the division. It's not all that close. The defense is average.
Which is going to be, it's going to hamper them when they come up against every team this year. And they face some pretty decent pass rushes all throughout the season.
That's another thing.
They got the Washington football team on this. They got the Green Bay Packers who can get after the quarterback with the Smiths.
The 6 games in your division.
All those teams in the division as well. Chicago's got a good pass rush. They could get after him as well and create problems.
The schedule did them no favors either.
Yeah, offensive line problems are just things that you, even as good as Russ Wilson can be.
And he is.
If he's getting killed, eventually you're going to lose that battle. And that's the thing I fear with the Seattle Seahawks.
All right, I'll go one step further. Let's say something, God forbid something happens to Russell Wilson. And they have to start Geno Smith. What's this team's record?
Oh, God. That could be
Just
4.
take the journey with me.
It could be like 4 wins.
Who do they beat? I mean, I'm looking at the schedule right now. Mm-hmm. Let's say that, and I don't forecast injuries or anything like that, so I'm not trying to do that. Look at their schedule. Outside of the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans and the Detroit Lions, that's 3 wins. You tell me who else on that schedule they beat without Russell Wilson. It's no fucking body.
No fucking body.
I've tried my best to figure out who in the hell would you beat. Yeah. Because every team's going to outscore you. Because they're going to pick on your defense, which is not overly good, and you're not going to be able to score with them.
Right.
That's why I feel about the Seahawks the way that I do. And eventually, it's going to come back to bite you in the ass.